Twitter over the last few years has probably become one of the worst social medias I've ever used. That might be a controversial take, but I'm genuinely almost to the point of hatred for this app. So I've been using Twitter since 2018, and I've made 2 accounts since that point. My first account I made in 2018, and the other one I made only about 2 months ago. Now, the account I made about 2 months ago is not an account that I actually wanted to make, but I basically had to make it due to Twitter's support team. Basically because of their inability to go through the simple process of giving me my old account back, I basically had to make a new one. Basically, to put this all into short, I forgot the password to my old account and I tried to reset it. After I realized how terrible the process is to do so, I basically had to make a new account and I gave up on the old one. Now, this whole video isn't just going to be me complaining about my own problems and all that sort of stuff with Twitter, but I definitely feel like that I needed to talk about the support team and just all that sort of stuff because it is a big enough issue to the point where I do need to include it in the video. Now that I've gone over my own problems with Twitter, I feel like I need to get into the most important part of this video. So make sure you stick around because I have a lot more to cover here about Twitter. And just the reason that I genuinely just absolutely do not like it as an app. I don't support the service, I don't like it. The only reason I have it and use it at this point is because I'm a YouTuber. And to be a YouTuber, it's basically impossible to go without a Twitter and Instagram account. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't really like Instagram either, but I do have to say that Twitter has got to be definitely one of the worst ones out there. And with this video, I'm going to go over and basically explain all the problems with it and everything that has to go with it. This is going to be your one-stop video for everything that you need to know about Twitter and the absolute insanity of a platform that it is, so make sure you stick around. Now, the first topic that I want to talk about today is the people who use Twitter. Now, I myself would say that I'm not the most average Twitter user. I would not use Twitter for more than an hour a day maximum. After I use Twitter for about an hour, I can genuinely feel my brain fading into such a place where I want to shove my head through a brick wall. And the reason for that is because every time that I check my timeline or I just click the app or anything like that, there's always something negative or there's always something that's going to put me in a bad mood without me having to even scroll through the app. Whether it be people trying to ratio other people, complain all the time, quote tweet people just complaining about random stuff, people getting offended over people saying literally the smallest things that would never affect them in the real world only if it wasn't for Twitter. Just all these things combined, just absolutely getting shoved into your face every time you open the app. Just basically all these things that I'm going to go more in depth into in this video, but basically that just basically make this app or website just a terrible place to be. So let's start off with the ratios. Now, for those of you that don't know, a ratio on Twitter is when someone replies to a tweet basically saying literally just the word ratio. That's it. And what the person tries to do when they reply with the word ratio is they try to get more likes than the original person who tweeted something. And KSI is a huge example of this. KSI recently left Twitter and now only uses it to promote his basically promote his music and all that sort of stuff. And I don't blame him, to be honest. KSI is probably one of the most extreme cases of the people basically spamming ratio and ratio plus didn't ask G or whatever under every single one of his tweets. And don't get me wrong, for the first few times that it happened, like the first few months, the people would say ratio or whatever. I got to admit, it was kind of funny and, you know, I did get a good laugh out of it. But eventually now, it just gets to a point where everyone is doing it and it's just getting annoying. Like, it's not funny, like, no one laughs. And the thing is that no one can even ratio KSI in the first place. People just do it to be a waste of space and just to be annoying at this point. It's not even toxic, it's just like, it's just there and it's just annoying. And this is probably on a bit of a darker side, but imagine KSI tweeted out something like absolutely serious, like talking about topics that definitely require a bit of maturity from his audience. And not only his audience, but just the people around him. And imagine if people would just reply didn't ask and didn't ask G and, you know, racial and all that sort of stuff under all of them. That would just be insane. Oh wait, that has actually already happened multiple times. I would show all the tweets for this, but KSI has obviously deleted them because, you know, of the terrible response he got for them. But it just goes to show that people genuinely have no morals on Twitter and they will do literally anything to get a tiny bit of clout, or not even clout really, because no one respects the people that basically comment ratio onto everything, that they just sort of leave it there. So people just have free reign to be annoying on Twitter, which is definitely something that I find quite annoying about the app. Now, like I did say before, KSI left Twitter and he basically mentioned in his latest second channel video, basically called Why I Left Twitter, he basically mentioned why he left Twitter and all that sort of stuff. It's a pretty good clip, so I'm gonna play that now.
But yeah, for those of you that don't know, I have left Twitter. For many reasons, actually. First of all, I'm sick and tired of cancel culture. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good that comes from it, you know, calling out pedophiles, calling out rapists, calling out abusers, you know, that's all good. But when people are getting cancelled for stupid reasons, like calling their KKK outfit ballsy, and then someone having a problem with that, I was just like, yo, it's time to go, man. Even when you apologize for a mistake you've made in the past, Twitter's just there like, nope, no, we're not accepting it. You're cancelled. No, you're cancelled. Deal with it. But I said I'm sorry. Nope, don't care. Cancelled.
Now, like Ace, I said, one of the reasons he left Twitter is because of this absolutely broken phenomenon called cancel culture. Now, don't get me wrong, cancel culture can be very good at times. Like, as much as I dislike it, it can be good at times. Like Ace, I said, if someone gets exposed for doing something illegal or just something that is completely socially unacceptable, even though I feel like cancel culture does go a little bit far at times, there are definitely times where people do need to be called out for their actions, and to be honest, not in the way that cancel culture does it. Cancel culture basically just grabs someone by the neck and just absolutely throws them into the ground and gives them no chance to stand back up. What people being called out is basically when they get called out for their actions, they're given a chance to respond to it, first of all. They're given a chance to respond to it, and people can critique them from there. The thing is with Twitter is that they don't actually allow that. They literally just rip them to shreds and just don't let them get back up. Take PewDiePie, for example. PewDiePie, the reason he left Twitter is quite obvious, because he was just getting absolutely dumped on by the media. The media was literally ripping him apart back in 2016, 2017, and I don't blame him for leaving Twitter. But now that's transitioned to people over in the Minecraft community like Dream, Tommy Innit, George Not Found. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen countless videos in your recommended if you're subscribed to channels like mine. Basically, a bunch of my friends have covered this sort of stuff, where people literally get cancelled for the dumbest things, and I'm talking the dumbest things. Like people in the Minecraft community getting called out for saying the R slur, like Dream or whatever, and Bad Boy Halo. It's just to the point where it's just annoying to see. Like, I go onto Twitter and the first thing I see is someone quote tweeting some absolute brain-dead 12-year-old stan who probably hasn't left his smelly room in the last 6 months and probably hasn't showered for even longer. It's just stuff like that that genuinely gets under my skin and gets me really riled up with Twitter. And the thing is, right, is that when people are getting cancelled, basically the stuff that they say holds literally no weight whatsoever. It's just ridiculous. It's like people don't understand that we're all human and we're allowed to make mistakes. Like Dream is allowed to make a mistake. Tommy Innit is allowed to make a mistake. Especially people like Tommy Innit. Like, the guy's 16 and people are trying to cancel him. Like, he doesn't even have a fully functioning brain yet. Brains don't fully develop until you're 25 and you're already trying to cancel Tommy Innit, who's literally a 16-year-old. Like, can you chill out? I'm already getting rolled up by this sort of stuff. Like, it genuinely makes no sense. And again, like I said before, there are definitely reasons why people should be called out for their stuff. Like if someone says something absolutely vile, then yeah, sure, Twitter can sort of, you know, critique them and get them to respond. But it's just when you're taking stuff that people were saying like 3 or 4 years ago and trying to bring it up now like it holds any weight, it's just so ridiculous. All cancel culture now is people just scrolling through people's old tweets, basically from 2012 and 2013, and trying to bring up stuff where they would say the R slur or whatever, or like swear or something, and try to bring it up against them and try to just end their career. It's just so, like, it's like, there's no point to it. It's just annoying, it's a nuisance, and it's literally just there to annoy everyone. Like, no one enjoys it. And like I just mentioned before, it's basically the worst for the Minecraft community, because most of the audience of the Minecraft community are teenage girls who basically can't go 2 seconds without calling out someone or trying to cancel someone. Now, I gotta specify, I'm not talking about all teenage girls, I'm just talking about the ones who are literally just obsessed. And 99% of the time, people get cancelled for the dumbest reasons, where like a small group would get like offended or something. And most of the time, the people who the joke was aimed at don't even get offended, like, at all. It's literally just random people getting offended for them. Now, my final thoughts on cancel culture, I definitely do think that there is a reason that it's there. I do think that there are times where people definitely need to get called out for their actions. I wouldn't say cancelled because that's basically just shutting down. That's shutting down the original person's, like, ability to respond to it, which I definitely don't think is a good idea. Censoring people is very, very stupid, and it definitely should not be a thing. But I do think that there does need to be a line where it's drawn, where people just, like, chill out a little bit. Like, if someone responds to something and you can clearly see that they've changed, like Logan Paul, for example. Logan Paul, back in 2018 when he made his forest video, everyone was rightly so outraged at him. Like he definitely deserved all that. But, you know, a few years went by, and for some reason people are now still going onto Twitter just, like, calling him out for it. Like, mate, he did it 2 years ago. I get what he did was absolutely awful, but at the end of the day, you can definitely tell that Logan Paul has changed throughout the years, and he's definitely not the same person he was in 2018. But, you know, even though I've made this video and I've basically called out Twitter for this. You know that there's still going to be people disliking these videos and just basically going to my comments who haven't read the full video, just commenting random stuff. It's just amazing. Anyway, I think I'm going to end that there because I'm genuinely done talking about Twitter. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.